Welcome, disc golfers, to another episode of Viridisk. This is Kenny Glassman, PDGA number 30060, excited to bring you coverage of the Ledgestone Insurance Open. I'm joined here with Brett Comincioli. Brett, who are the players that we'll be watching today?
We got Dana Vicich from Illinois. We got Matt Dollar from Georgia, Paul Ulibarri from Arizona, and local Pat Barrett from Illinois as well.
And what course are we going to be on?
We're in Morton, Illinois at Northwoods Park. This is a fantastic course. Good variety, open, long, tight wooded. It's a really good course.
Oh yeah, and I believe they have the signature hole 5, one of the best holes in central Illinois.
It's pretty difficult. When we get to the video, you'll see the treat that you have in store for us.
Well, great. Let's look forward to a great round from all these players today.
Make sure you get on the website, Viridisk. Check it out. Tons of videos. It's updated often. They've been an awesome company getting into disc golf, and there's going to be more to come in 2015.
There's a lot of great coverage, including coverage that they film with a drone helicopter that's real different and really special. It's different than anything you're going to see out there on the websites.
You can see the Cincinnati Open. We got some more. They covered the squall. All right, we got the second card coming up here. They're going to be fighting to get in the Final Four. There's a lot of cash on the line. There's going to be a lot of professionals around the country that regret not coming to this tournament. First place, $3,000 up for grabs. Second, $2,000. Third, $1,350, and then fourth place, $1,000. So these guys are looking to push onto the lead card here, Kenny. What do you think?
In terms of payout, how does that compare to other payouts for Illinois events?
This is probably going to break a record in Illinois, the most money ever added to a tournament. Actually, this is going to be one of the top 5 biggest tournaments of the year in the disc golf world in terms of payouts. Nate Heinold has done a fantastic job raising cash for this tournament. I know Johnny Harrison, another tournament director, has put a lot of time and effort, and the entire Peoria disc golf community has worked hard to make this event happen.
Yeah, I can't think of many Illinois tournaments that have payouts over $1,000. So what I did notice is there's been a lot of players registering from outside of the state playing in this tournament. I think there's players from 7 or 8 different states around the country, which is rare for most Illinois events.
Yeah, for sure. This tournament's brought in some really good players, and you see Johnny McRae, you got Matt Dollar, Paul Ulibarri, and a lot of the other top local talent within the Midwest.
Yeah, I think there's more 1,000-rated players than any other event in Illinois this year. So I'm looking for some excitement. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to see some great shots today.
Okay, let's meet the players that are on the card today.
Welcome, disc golfers, to Northwood Park in Morton, Illinois. This is the start of the round. Golfers will be starting on hole 2 as this is the second card. Distance is 198 feet.
Kenny, these guys want to start their round off with a 2 here. This is one of the easier deuces to get, even though there's some scattered trees. And it looks like Dana caught a tree a little early.
You can still make a putt if you hit early. As long as you get about 150 feet up the fairway, you're going to have a look at a chance at a birdie.
Looked like a little thumber there. Here we go. Here's Paul Ulibarri.
Likely he'll be throwing a forehand shot.
He catches a tree early too.
And rounding out the group will be Pat Barrett from Illinois.
I'm rooting for Pat here today, Kenny. He's a local Illinois guy. I know him very well. Rooting for him to make a move here.
As am I.
And Pat just puts it right by the bucket and gets a little nasty roll away.
Gets a nasty roll away, but he's still inside the circle. He's got Paul Ulibarri putting here.
Pretty decent run, but he's not going to be happy missing that hole.
Dana here at the circle's edge.
That didn't look so good right there. Looked a little nervous here this morning.
Pat for birdie.
Comes up short. Luckily, he didn't get that nasty roll away again.
Puts it in for par.
Everybody's tapping in. We got Matt Dollar stepping up for solo bird on this hole, which is super surprising. I thought at least 2, if not all 4, would get a birdie on this hole, Kenny.
This is really a hole you want to get early in the round. Pretty short hole, relatively easy.
All right, moving on to hole 3.
Hole 3, 219 feet. It's slightly uphill. You can't see the basket from the tee.
Matt's going with a thumber here again. And looks like he got to the top of the hill, should have a putt.
Dana knows this hole real well. I expect him to put it up there.
Yeah, he's been playing some great golf this year. Pretty good looking shot right there. He's going to have a putt. He's
put it about 10 feet past the basket. That's a great shot.
See what Paul's going to throw here. Is he going to go forehand again? Yep.
Paul has a great kick off the tree, puts him within 5 feet of the basket. Next on the tee is Pat Barrett. Looks like he's thrown a DX Rock, or is that a DX Aviar?
Oh, that is a rough spot on the right side over there, Kenny. I've been there many times. This is not going to be an easy upshot. Goes with the forehand. Looks like he's made a pretty good shot through there and got to the top of the hill. He's going to get a look for 3. Got Matt looking to start his round out hot with a couple birdies here. And he knocks it down.
2 thumbers in the row for 2 birdies in a row.
Got Dana for a little chip in here. 15, 20 footer. Bang.
Nice putt by Dana for a birdie. Paul coming up, had a great kick off a tree. Should be a drop-in birdie for him.
That was definitely some tree love right there. He's going to be happy about that. Now we're moving over to hole 4, Kenny. This is not an easy hole. This has got some pucker factor. Got to hit a gap. 276 feet, par 3. These trees they're in your head, and you got to make a good clean shot. Looks like Matt goes the outside route.
Yeah, there's a couple options on this hole. You could either bail out on the right side or just go up the middle. I prefer to throw a T-bird up the middle, but you have to be careful because if you hyzer out early on the left side, you're in trouble.
See what Dana does here. Man, I don't know if he was trying to go to the outside or if he was trying to cut down the middle. He looked like he was undecided.
Really have to make a commitment on this hole.
Got Paul, looks like he's going with a backhand here. Goes the outside hyzer route. He's got a big smile on his face. I don't think he liked it too much though.
Pat appears to be going right up the middle here.
And that didn't look good. He looked nervous.
Looked like he didn't have a lot of confidence walking up to that shot.
No, this is a hole that when you're standing on the tee, you have to know the route you're throwing and commit to it. And if you don't throw it, you just don't have a chance. Little roller here, recovery shot. Pretty decent roller, but he's going to have to make a long putt to get a par. Got Dana throwing his approach. Expect him to get up and down here 99 out of 100 times.
Vibram disc right next to the basket. Great up shot by Dana.
Ball sticking to the forehand, putting it up there. Here's Pat's putt for par. Not an easy one. Good bid, but this is definitely not the start Pat wanted to get off to. That's a hole that you want a birdie, but you definitely don't want a bogey. Good layup putt here. Paul for his 3.
Paul
And
dead center chains for his par there. Happy to move on to the next hole.
Dana tapping in for his 3 and moving on. And here we go, Kenny, off to hole 5. This is a signature hole.
Yeah, hole 5. Hole 5 is the most famous hole in Central Illinois. The sidearm's the way to go if you want to give yourself a chance at an eagle 2, but a lot of players just bail out with a backhand, put themselves at a chance for a 3. Even if you throw a nice backhand up the middle, it's still going to be a tough angle to get down for your par.
Here we go. Matt's throwing the thumber, trying to get to the layup zone. I don't know if he's trying to skip it off the top. A lot of players will skip it off that little embankment and drop to the bottom, and from there it's a pretty easy 3. Here comes Dana. He's going to get. I think he's going to get aggressive, and he's working that forehand. And he caught a tree. Paul. Previous day, Paul was pretty much parked on this hole, which is an incredible 3 or incredible 2 for an eagle.
Yeah, Paul is one of the best forehands in the game, so he's definitely going to be going for this one.
It looks like he caught a tree in the middle too. Looks like Pat's going with the layup backhand. This is a safe route here. He's going to look to place this at the top of the hill. And hung it out a little wide, and he's going to pay the price here. That pretty much took the birdie look out of play, and he's playing to get a 4 here. Little forehand out of trouble, and he's got a lot of work to do still. Looks like Dana's going to have a similar approach.
Now this hole is no joke. Once you get it to the top of the hill, you still have to throw it down to an island with some OB around it.
Yeah, and they've been pretty generous the last few years. Previously in the Greater Peoria Opens, they would mark the creek out of bounds down there and talk about making one tough hole even tougher. But this hole is no joke. It's very difficult, and if you can get a 3 on this hole and walk away, you're feeling really good about the start of your round. Looks like Matt's going to continue on this bombardment of thumbers.
Here's our first look down at the basket. You could see it. Oh, and wow, the disc just perched right out of the woods, right up to the basket. That looks to be parked.
Yeah, Matt, that's an incredible start there. He's going to have another birdie with just a tap in. Looks like Pat's over here, man. He's really working. He's got to try to save his 4 here. And that is going to be another difficult. That's definitely a bogey. He just wants to get off this hole and get on to the next one.
Now notice the tough foliage here. Actually on this hole there's a long path you have to walk to get down to it. You can't just walk straight down. So it's not an easy hike down to the basket here.
Yeah, if you haven't played in Central Illinois, you got to get out to Peoria and check out not only Northwoods where we're at today, but McNaughton, a.k.a. McNasty. And they've got a handful of other awesome courses in the area. Here's Pat. And what a putt to save 5. Holy cow. Single bogey's fine. Better than a double, that's for sure. Paul with a pretty easy 3 right there. Dana taps in for his bogey 4. And then Matt caught that tree and dropped down. Kenny, what do you think?
I think that's pretty great. Nothing better than a drop-in 3 on this hole. All right, moving on to hole 6.
This is pretty routine for these guys, Kenny. It's a very right-hand friendly hole. even though, it's around the 300-foot range. It's just a backhand down the chute and let it fade just a tad. And I expect all these guys to be around the circle's edge.
Yeah, really the trick on this hole is to just not land short. If you come in short, you're going to be in the woods. You're going to have a tough up and down for your 3.
Tell you what, Matt Dollar's gotten off to a hot start here. He's feeling good. He's looks like Paul saws that one off. He's going to be in that area you're just talking about, Kenny. I think he's going to be short and in the foliage trying to make a putt. Here's another one. Looks like maybe the camera early morning trying to make a push. These guys might be a little nervous, Kenny.
Dana's got some experience on this hole. I've got some faith in him to throw one up the middle.
Here it is, and this is how it's done, people. Down the chute, let it fade. He's going to be putting for birdie.
Yeah, that looks to be about 15 feet away from the basket. Nice shot by Dana.
Here comes Pat.
Pat's coming off a big putt.
Right down the middle, pretty looking shot. Gets a little deep, but he'll have a putt. And, Pat's not sponsored that I know of, Kenny. He's from Illinois. I know him real well. He's been playing some good golf. I'd like to see him get on the road and play a lot more this year, especially 2015. I think he could do some damage.
Yeah, he's a real good player. Him and Nate Day like to travel a little bit, but
here's a little layup. That's going to be a 3. Not going to be happy about that one. Here's Pat. Really nice shot. There's a birdie for Pat.
Puts him on the board. That's gonna start off his round for him today.
Here's Matt Dollar. Knocking home. He makes 100 out of 100 of those. He just doesn't miss those. And then here's Dana. Expect him to make this. Walk off the hole. There it is. There's a birdie for Dana. Birdie for Pat. Moving on to hole 7. I know Paul's not going to be happy about that hole for the skill level of him. That's pretty routine, throwing down the middle.
Moving on to hole 7. Hole 7, real short, 201-foot hole. This is a must-get.
Yeah, I agree, Kenny. This is a hole that you can. I'm really surprised Dana's throwing the forehand, but he's really improved that part of his game and pretty much parked it right there. There's a route down the middle. There's a forehand route. There's also a sneaky hyzer route to the right that some players will take. Let's see what Pat does here. These guys are probably all throwing mid-range discs too. Looks like Pat's going for that hyzer route I was just talking about.
Came up just short of the tree. Should give him a 25-foot putt.
Yeah, of all the holes on the course, this is a hole that I expect all 4 of these guys to birdie. Especially with hole 8 coming after this. This is one you want to get. And Matt just thumber Matt Dollar, keeping it rolling. Ooh,
Paul with an ace run right there. Comes in just in front of the chains.
that's a good shot. Now, I'm really surprised to see these guys throwing a forehand on that hole. It's a putter, it's a mid, and it's right in front of you. I'm really surprised by that. Looks like Paul got a little hot and skipped down that hill. That's one place you don't want to go is deep. And he misses the easiest birdie on the course.
Pat hits right side chains. Looks to have gone down the hill just a little bit.
This is a tap-in birdie for Dana. Keeps it going.
Dana's starting a nice round here.
Yeah, and I think he's going to keep it going, Kenny. He's played here a lot. Here's Pat for his 3, but Dana's played here a ton, and he's logged many rounds. He knows every one of these holes. I expect him to make a move here today. And here's Matt with that thumber, park birdie. And I don't think Paul's going to be happy about the start of this round. He's missed a couple of the birdie holes and just doesn't look like he has it to start this round.
Now, hole 7 is going to be a lot more challenging. Hole 8 is going to be a lot more challenging than hole 7. It's 309 feet straight down the tunnel from the short tee.
This is you throw it straight, throw it on a rope, and that's the only way you can get this birdie. I mean, this is a great hole, Kenny. It's the long tee's about 100 feet back. I've played many rounds with Rob Strasser at this course, and that guy can throw just laser beams down this course. But we'll see what these guys have. Looks like Matt's fading a little right. See if he sneaks through. Nope. Every one of these players is capable of reaching this basket down this corridor, just committing to the shot and putting it down the pipe.
Pat on the tee here.
He pulled it right. Looks a little frustrated right now. And then Paul's got to pick it up and get it going here. Looks like he's going with that forehand again. Fades a little short, a little right, but he's frustrated, but he's going to get at least a look out of this. It's a pretty good shot by Pat. Gets a pretty generous bounce, and
He's not sure what happened there. Might have gone a little deep.
he should be all right. He'll get a look. Here comes Dana. This is one of those holes that you don't expect to birdie it, but you definitely don't want to bogey it. It's definitely birdieable, but going the other way, it's just as easy to four. So you want to walk off this hole, and here's Paul for a birdie putt.
Looks to be just outside the circle here. Gives it a jump putt and puts it in.
Oh,
Great putt for
that
two.
was an awesome putt. He needed that to get his round started, and Paul's going to feel good about that. Here comes Dana. This is for Dana's par. Boom, nails it. Just over the edge. Couple tap-ins coming in here. And looks like Paul got the solo birdie here. Everybody else managed to get away, pretty much pretty clean. Taking a 3 on that hole is okay.
Moving on to hole 9. This is one of the newer holes at this course. It's coming in at 354 feet.
This is a very demanding hole. The late turn makes this difficult. Paul goes with the backhand. And, he's in the middle of the fairway. Nothing wrong with that. This is another one of those holes, Kenny, that it's a very difficult 2 to get. But it's just as easy to 4 if you get a bad kick.
Yeah, it's almost a straight shot, but it does turn over to the right at the end, so it's challenging to get your disc all the way up to the hole.
Comes Dana with the backhand. I think him and Greg Nettles designed this hole. And
that's a great-looking
Wow,
shot.
that is an awesome shot.
That skipped right past the basket.
Here we go with Matt. Throws the backhand. I think that's the first non-forehand, or not forehand, but thumber shot that he's threw, and he exploded off the tree in that left-hand rough, and it's going to be tough to save a par from there. Pat Barrett going with the backhand.
Looks to have turned over nicely.
He's going to get a look, but he might have got a little unlucky with the foliage. We'll see what happens when he gets up there, see if he can get it done. Here's Matt Dowler with a step-out forehand, just trying to save his 3. Looks like he's got that job done, and I expect him to get up and down from there. See if Paul can throw him back-to-back jump putts here, and he's not happy with that one.
Pat had a great kick, put him within 12 feet of the basket.
What a great birdie by Pat.
And Dana also had a great shot, skipping just past the basket, actually kicked off a tree and rolled back a little bit for him.
Those are really nice twos. That's what I call a 1,000 rated hole, Kenny. I mean, If you're not 1,000 rated, you have a really difficult time getting a birdie on that hole. Very rarely. Where these guys, they have a chance every time they step up in the hole.
And you don't see it so much on this card, but on some of the later cards, you're going to see a lot more score separation. You're going to see a lot more 5s and 6 on a hole like this.
For sure. Matt, easy up and down, getting his par. And then we'll move on.
Moving on to hole 10 at Northwood Park. Measuring in at 261 feet.
Kenny, this is a hole they're going to want a birdie. This is another pretty standard hole. Little turnover mid-range or putter. Here's Dana. And that's a pretty good-looking shot. He's going to be happy with that one.
Dana looks to be about 5 feet or less from the basket on that.
Yeah, this is again, this is a routine hole that these guys are expecting to get. Here comes Pat going with the forehand. Ooh, that one
skipped up right by the basket. Paul's also going to be throwing another forehand shot.
Another good-looking shot. Here comes Matt. Looks like we get to look at his backhand. Little money on the top. And that one didn't look too money, but he's going to have a look.
Still maybe only 20 feet out. All these guys put it pretty close.
Here comes Matt. Oh, chained out, and he's going to be thinking about that one for a while. Looks like Paul's stepping up. Nope, Pat Barrett. Money for the birdie. There's Paul knocking it home for the birdie.
And Dana's going to come in and just drop this one in.
Yeah, it looks like Dana, Paul, and Pat all with the birdie, and Matt, he's not going to be pleased about that one.
This is going to bring us to the halfway mark. These guys have completed 9 holes. So, Brett, where are they sitting after 9?
Yeah, I'm just using the old standard par 3 format, but Dana's -4, Matt Dollar's -3, Ulibarri's -2, and Pat Barrett's not off to the start he was looking for. He's even. And tell you what, these guys are going to have to fire it up on the back 9 to get this going, to get into that final 9.
Well, hole 11's another opportunity for birdie, measuring in at 231 feet, pretty straight up the middle.
Yeah, and this middle tree, Kenny, has gotten really big over the years. You used to have a really easy right-hand hyzer shot underneath it, and it's really grown in both the right and left-hand side, and looks like Dana caught the middle tree, and he's going to have to make a long one for birdie. Pat's going with that same route.
Pat keeps it low there.
Pretty looking shot. Might be a little short. Paul's going to go to the left-hand side. And I actually think that's the preferred route now. Oof.
That skips it just past the basket. Great shot by Paul.
He is excited about that. Here's the replay, Kenny.
We got a replay from the other angle. This did come close to acing, so let's see how close it was.
Oh, just around the backside. That was a great angle our cameraman got there.
That is a really nice replay there. And now we've got Matt Dollar on the tee here.
He's going with a thumber. Tell you what, Kenny, if I threw this many thumbers in one round all those years of college baseball, I think you would have to carry my arm off the course.
Well, it seems to be working great. Almost every time he throws it, he lands right by the basket.
Here's Dana for the long jump putt. And Dana will walk off with a 3. Pat Barrett for birdie. And money. Pat's on a little roll here.
Pat's gotten a little bit more comfortable out there with this putt. He seems to calm down.
That's 3 birdies in a row for Pat. You know, and Paul, and I'm sure Matt Dollar's been on camera and Dana's been on camera, but you know, Pat hasn't really been on camera this at all, Kenny. It's got to play part of it. Looks like he's settled in. And there's hole 11, 3 birdies, Matt, Paul, and Pat. Dana with the non-birdie there. Hole 12. We got a little hyzer here, tricky hyzer.
It's only 252 feet, but it is a tight hyzer. And if you throw too high, you're going to drop down early. Now, this is a completely blind shot.
Yeah, and the one mistake you do not want to make is tight and early like that. That is not the mistake you want to make. Looks like Matt's got the line. And he is parked. That is a skill shot. It's really difficult to get to park this hole, Kenny. It's one that you want to birdie, but it's really tough getting close. Dana, again, tight and early. Looks like Paul and Dana both tight and early. They're going to have to get some work here to save their three, and Dana's not happy about that.
Dana pitching it out from the woods. Puts it right up to the basket. Nice upshot there.
Here comes Paul, a little forehand out of the woods. Save his three. Pretty routine. Here's Pat for his birdie. This is one of the mistakes that a lot of people make on the hole. Is it's just tough to get that perfect speed and hit the corner. And money, what a putt!
That's 4 in a row for Pat. He's feeling good.
He is feeling good. It's got to be a highlight this year for Pat, is playing with these caliber players, and he can hang with them. Paul gets up and down for his three. Dana taps in for three, and here we got Matt Dollar tapping in for his birdie. Moving on to hole 13. This is a really good par 4, Kenny.
Yeah, this is one of the longer holes in the course. It's going to give these guys a chance to open up their arm, and you're going to see what they have.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if they're gonna go roller on this or gonna air shot.
I think you guys are going to be
both.
surprised. Pat Barrett's got a real arm. Not a lot of people know about it, but he can really throw the disc pretty far.
He's going to the roller, Kenny. And that one is pretty darn good. He got up, Pat. That little group in the trees to the right, if you're short, I think he probably put that out there well over 400 feet, and he should have a pretty clean look to the basket. Here comes Matt. See if he goes roller or air shot. Roller.
With the low ceiling, the roller is a smart shot here. It does get you pretty far up the fairway, giving you a chance to get up and down.
He's pretty far out to the right, and we'll see if he's got an angle to get the basket or not. You know, Kenny, was a little cool out this morning, too. Some players, Paul's from hot weather. Probably you saw him, they're blowing on his hands there trying to get warm up. And he just crushes this roller. What a beauty. Center of the fairway. That is going to be an easy three from there.
I'm expecting Dana to follow suit with a roller here.
Didn't quite get it over, caught edge, and oh boy, this is going to be way left. That is going to be a difficult spot to get a three from, Kenny.
He's going to have some work to get up and down.
See if he can make it happen. It's not looking good, Kenny. Dana's going to have to make a big putt. Matt going the big hyzer. Went over the top. And he's going to have to make a putt to get his birdie. Doesn't look too thrilled. Here's this crushing roller by Pat. Right side. He's got a really good angle here. Makes a great shot, and he's going to be looking at a pretty standard birdie. Paul as well with the forehand, and that should be a pretty routine birdie for him too. Matt for his par. Ooh, what a bid off the top band.
Just off the band.
Dana to save a par.
Lines up a straddle putt.
I guess I said save a par, but that was for his birdie. He's going to be getting a par.
This is the first par 4 on the course.
Yeah, that was routine by Paul. Huge roller, easy upshot, birdie, moving on.
Pat again with another birdie.
There's a great birdie, and Pat's on a roll. He's on a Steven Jacobs butter train. Mach 5 butter train. Moving on to hole 14, Kenny. It's pretty tight at the top. Matt Dollar and Dana are really bad on, and we'll see what that lead card does, but they should be in the hunt right now. This is a hole that's got this little, it's definitely a lefty hole. Right-hand player, it's really difficult to get a backhand there. It's good roller, or Pat here, forehand, and he might be handcuffed by these pine trees. That's the mistake you don't want to make, is short and right. You just get put to death by these pine trees, and looks like Paul might be there too.
Paul's going to be in a tough spot. If you're on the right-hand side of those pine trees, there's really no look to the basket. He's going to have to put a trick shot on the ground to get to the basket from there.
Yeah, those pines, Kenny, you can be 15 feet from the basket and have nothing. Matt Dollar with the thumber, and he is just parked.
Appears to be another thumber park job, kind of a theme that he's been having today.
Dana got out to a pretty good start, but on this back here, he's missed some of the easier birdies. He's trying to get it going. He goes with the air shot, and it fades off left, and he might not even have a look from there. And here we go. We're going to get a look at these. Well, here we are with Dana. He's kind of handcuffed by the deep rough. Comes up short and walking away with the par.
Dana was fortunate to be where he was. I don't think Paul's going to have such a fortunate lie.
And Pat is just on fire right now, Kenny.
Makes good on another putt for birdie.
6 in a row.
Paul must have penetrated through those trees because he appeared to make that putt for birdie.
That was a birdie, Kenny. That was a nice birdie. I'm really surprised he was able to get through there.
Hole 15, 225 feet.
Here's another one. It's right in front of you. Mid-ranger putter, and besides the green being a little fast, this is a must birdie hole, Kenny.
This does have a fast green, so you don't want to go long of the basket because it does drop off.
Matt with the backhand.
But a mid-range up the middle is a pretty standard shot here. Matt appears to put it within 15 feet.
He's going to have a little bit of work to do up the hill, but I expect him to make that one. Paul with the forehand. And he is parked.
That slides right up to
I
the
could
pole.
make that putt. Here we go. Dana really, after that really good start that he got, he's kind of stalled out, and he really needs this birdie right now to get it rolling because the stretch of holes coming up is not easy. And there it is. It's just what I expected from a...
Dana with the CTP there, putting it within 2 feet of the basket.
Pat's going to have to commit this to keep the birdie train rolling.
Now, this is almost a death putt right here.
Oh, he hits off the top and rolls away. The butter train comes to an end, and he's going to have work to do here to just save his par now. Just nothing. Nothing. He had nothing.
That's unfortunate.
Matt Dollar, just money. There's a birdie. And here's Pat after those 5 birdies in a row. He's going to 3-putt this and take a bogey.
It's a little frustrating, but when you're on a birdie streak like that, you really have to go for that putt. He was feeling good.
Yeah, I agree, Kenny. Paul gets his park job birdie. Dana. So Pat was the only one not to get the birdie on that hole. Hole 16. This is
Hole 16 is the second par 4. This is the longest hole on the course. No, it's the second longest hole on the course. Third longest hole on the course, actually. There's only 3 par 4s here. It's 492 feet from the short tee.
you know, Kenny, this is one of those holes that it's kind of a tweener hole unless you just have a monster arm. You're going for the eagle 2 possibly. You want the birdie 3, and if these guys are upset if they take a 4 on this hole. I know Brian Earhart, that huge left-handed thrower, he parked this hole with an air shot, and here we saw two rollers in a row here going for the eagle 2. He's gonna have a jump putt look. Here comes Dana. Let's see what he's got. Let's see if he's going air shot or roller. I got to be honest, Kenny, I don't know if that was an air shot or a roller. Do you?
I think it was supposed to be an air shot, but it just wasn't high enough. Kind of hit and cut rolled on the side of that hill.
All right, let's see if Pat's got the power to get to this hole.
Pat's going to unleash right here.
I don't think he's going roller here at all. He's got the distance in the air to get there. Gets it up. And might be a little headwind that's pushing that way because Dana had the disc flipped over too. Here's the tricky part about this hole is you want to get it close on this. This is a death putt if you're on top. From the bottom, if you hit the bin, there's a good chance you're rolling, and it looks like Dana got pretty fortunate to stick it on the side of the hill there. Pat's going to go with the same approach. Forehand. Puts a little above, and he's going to have a little pucker factor putt from up top. And here's Matt's approach. Puts it pretty close. Here's Paul. Pretty good run. Catches the bin, and it sticks right there. He's got a smile on his face. Oh, and Pat misses the par putt. He's going to take a 4. After those 5 birdies in a row, now he goes back-to-back bogeys. Pretty routine for Dana here. Tap in 3. And he knocks it home. What do you think about Dana's straddle putt, Kenny?
Dana's straddle putt's gotten pretty good over the past few years. Ever since he started putting with those Vibram discs, he's really stepped up his game a lot.
Yeah, I like his approach that he's been taking. He's been a really, really good touring player this year. And there's Matt knocking in his birdie. So it looks like 3 birdies on this hole, and Pat took a 4, and we're moving on to 17. And hole 17's been a really good addition. I used to just absolutely despise playing this hole and walking up to the old 18. They redesigned this and put this hole in between, and this is a really good professional caliber hole. Takes a monster of an arm to get there up the hill.
Yeah, hole 17, it's birdied very rarely. It's actually birdied less than 5% of the time, which means going for the deuce is not always the best plays, because if you throw a driver and you hit something hard, you're probably going to go flying into the jungle. Throwing a mid-range is really a good idea here, and ironically, you might see Nico do that later.
Yeah, you know, Kenny, this is, again, one of those holes that you just want to put up the middle and keep it out of trouble because your percentages of getting a birdie 2 here are not good.
Dana on the tee here on this tricky hole 17. Throws a nice shot up the middle.
Wow, that's the experience of playing many rounds here, Kenny. He's going to get a look for birdie. He's got to feel good about that. He's took the bogey out of play, and that's an easy 3, if not a birdie 2. And here comes Pat.
Now this is a really intimidating hole standing at the bottom of the tee there.
Pat throws his hyzer flip and gets some cabbage and knocks down, and here he is in this little gully here. It's not going to be an easy approach shot from this area. But does it nicely and well done. Should be able to get up and down from there. Matt's money on his approach. Should be a pretty standard 3, and here we are with Paul. A little tricky spot. And this is why these guys are that good, Kenny. They get in trouble, and they have every approach shot to get there. And here's Dana for his 2. Oh, and he knocks it down for birdie. That is a bonus. He needed that to move forward.
And it's very likely that he's one of the only guys that birdied this hole today. Like I said earlier, this is only birdied 5% of the time, and the stats don't lie.
He's got to feel good about that going in with 2 holes to go. He's trying to push that lead card. And it's close, and he's a stroke behind Matt going into the last 2. And here's hole 18, signature hole. It's a really, really good par 4.
This is the longest hole in the course.
This is to me one of the prettiest holes in Illinois. You're up on the bluff. You just get to throw a mammoth crush. However, you can pay the price if you hyzer out too much or throw to the right.
Hole 18 is the only true bomber on the course. It's really just a grip it and rip it hole. It's much better to be on the left side as there's a lot of room to left to land. A lot more than you think. Being on the left is the best spot to be if you want to be in position for a second shot to get up and down for a chance at a birdie.
Yeah, and these guys are all capable of just throwing mammoth drives here, Kenny. Paul does it pretty well. He's going to be a little right, but he should be able to make it work from here. Got Pat on the tee. As long as that gets down, he'll be okay. There's more room to the left than you think. A lot of players who haven't played there.
Here's a little drone shot for you guys. This was taken by the drone helicopter. Kind of a unique view that you don't get to see very often.
Looks like Pat's handcuffed a little bit here. He did get to the woods, stand still. And he's going to get a birdie putt up the hill. He's a little short, but it's a pretty nice standstill approach. Comes Matt with a thumber, as you can see. Slopes slightly uphill.
Thumber's a great shot there as it turns from the left to the right side. Puts him within feet of the basket.
That should be a pretty easy birdie from there. Here comes Dana. Really nice drive. He's going the big hyzer. Oh, and he catches the pine. Takes away the birdie. He's going to be really frustrated with that. And here comes Paul with the forehand. Well done. Easy birdie 3 for him. So here we are with Dana out of the pines. And just a tap-in par. Pat up the hill for birdie. Looks like he's just running out of gas there a little bit. Kenny up the hill, left it short. There's Matt with his birdie.
He had a real nice thumber to get up and down there.
Dana with his par. And here we move to hole 1, Kenny. This hole is such a difficult 2 to get. It favors a right-hand forehand out of these guys. If you have that, you got a chance. But it's another one of those ones that it's not birdied often. It's got a nasty grain with some nasty death putts. And here comes Matt with his thumber and just an explosion.
As you can see there, it does slope down, so there are a lot of shots that hit the green and then roll down to the bottom, taking away your birdie.
You know, I actually like the old hole a lot better that was down at the bottom of the hill. It's just, I don't necessarily like it up at the top where it's really tough angle, but I guess maybe I need to go learn how to throw a 320-foot forehand shot.
Forehand shot is definitely the favorite throw here to get the birdie.
And Dana's not going to like that. Early kick, kicked right. This is going to be a really tough save. Here comes another forehand. If you don't have a forehand this hole, you are not getting a birdie too. Very rarely, at least.
Pat sneaks by the tree in the center of the fairway. Looks to be up there for a chance at a birdie to end the
He's
round.
pretty excited right there. That was a great shot. Dana was fortunate that he had a look all around the outside. He should be able to get up and down from there. At least have a look. Comes Matt with the turnover. Pretty nice shot. Paul, there's no way Paul can run this right here. Absolutely no way. But he goes for it. Oh, and man.
Real lucky that one didn't roll down the hill.
Real lucky. That could have easily been 100 feet away down at the bottom of the hill. Who is this coming up the hill? Is that Pat coming up the hill? That's pretty unfortunate. I thought he threw a really nice drive, and there's Matt for his 3. Pat knocking his 3 right there. Dana, and looks like we got a star 3 going here, Kenny, to finish the round. Overall, you had Matt Dollar bringing it home with a 48, leading the card. You had Paul Ulibarri shooting a 49. Didn't really seem like he was shooting all that good out there, Kenny, but just kept it consistent with no bogey 4s out there. And then we had Dana rolling in with a 50, and Pat Barrett with a 54. And it looks like Matt Dollar has edged Johnny McRae to move on to the final 9. He made the final 9. So
the final 9 will be played later today at Northwood Course. Some of the same holes we saw, but there's one hole that's an extended hole that they're going to get to play, so that'll be a little bit different for later today.
It's a pretty exciting day of disc golf, Kenny.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys at the final 9 later on.